right, guys, as usual, James Bruce in the house. And just launched yesterday. New firm launched by Maven, completely crypto. You can trade all sorts of altcoins, meme coins, AI coins, whatever it is. Whatever your heart's desire. Check out whencrypto.com. That's when without the fee. James, I think still playing music. The intro's still playing. Okay, there we go. I just realized I made a big mistake, and you're gonna laugh. Last night I was doing a live stream. Oh, I know what I'm. Sorry, I've got reverb there. Okay, sorry. I was doing a live stream and I had an interview with a trader last night. Really interesting trader, and I'm going to show you the charts here.
Sure.
He was actually trading wheat, and funny enough, I was wow, this is the he made like 10, 11 grand or something off this wheat move right here. And I'm like, dude, I've never seen anyone trade wheat. This is really sweet.
Yeah.
And his logic was so silly, but it makes sense to me. And I just kind of this is number one fool's thing to do is I heard somebody else making money on something, so I bought some wheat last night. And you can see I don't have the trade running anymore because I just closed it for negative $1,000. Because this account started as a 5K. Now it's at 7,500 because I just lost $1,000 on this because I've never traded wheat before. So I opened up one contract, didn't know how much it would move. Didn't do any calculations, none of my own research, just trusted somebody else made some money, and I just lost $1,000 today. So that's going to put us back. That's going to put us back a little bit. But interesting enough, the logic made a lot of sense, and I think you're going to laugh at this. Basically, he said, hey, I'm looking at wheat, and every time there's a recession that comes on, right, wheat really pumps, right? And his logic was, food prices can't get cheaper, right? And
sure,
inflation exists, and if there's wars, if there's recessions coming, all this jazz, like gold is what people put their money into. They park their money in gold, and gold's been ripping up. So he's like, hey, what do people need more than gold? Well, food, right? So you're
Sure.
looking at this chart, I think it was, right? Just a simple,
That's so
one.
interesting.
And he's like, okay, so what's the chances that wheat's going to be cheaper than 2020, right? And he's like, it's pretty low. I don't think the price of bread is going to be cheaper than 5-6 years ago. So he just bought it and he held for like months, right? And then he ended up selling and taking a 10K payout on Maven, which is really, really awesome. And
can you trade wheat or Maven?
You can trade wheat, soybean,
Oh, wow.
all these things. And wheat, soybean, and corn, he said, those are the three like products that
Interesting.
don't lose long term, really. Now, I was dumber than a dummy here, and I was like, all right, let's just go buy some wheat futures. And
Sure.
if you look at wheat futures, guys, I'm kicking myself right now because I'm trying to do a challenge where I'm flipping a 5K, and I'm going to show you guys really right here. Look at this, negative $967 today. Now I'm down to 7K. I am an absolute buffoon. Because if you look at this, wheat has been going down forever. Did no research.
Yeah, I just had a look at the chart.
Now, mind you, this might still go up because we could be going into a recession. This could be, this could be a really good pull, and I could have made, $100,000 off this move up, but I'd rather not risk the entire account just to make a little bit of bucks. But the other thing he was trading with was the ZAR. Okay. Right. And you're familiar with the ZAR, of course, right?
Of course.
So I was like, man, why are you trading the ZAR? Nobody trades the ZAR. Okay. USD ZAR, right? I'm going to pull up.
Yeah. That's South African Rand. Yeah.
And I know this might trigger a couple people, but he's like, I live in South Africa. He's South African. So he's
interesting.
He's being in the know, I suppose. And he's like, this had pulled back, right? So he made a bunch of money on that bounce right there, and it pulled back, and he said, I'm gonna bet against South Africa because he's like, I don't know any other African country that is beating America right now. Basically, he said it in sort of different words, but he's like, I'm not gonna bet on Africa. He's like, I'm going to bet on the States, basically. And his logic is, this kind of weird fundamental pulls. And he ended up making a ton of money just because of these bounces. Now, whether or not, it does look like the ZAR is actually beating America right now. But his logic, I had to give it to him because he's like, you're kind of right, over the course of like decades.
Yeah, America we've been weak. We've been weak.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe you can give some more input on there. Like he seems to know more than I do about South Africa. What's been going on?
I mean, obviously from a technical standpoint, our currency has been very, very weak for many years. I mean, I think if we go to like a weekly time frame on So I don't trade it personally because the spreads and that you'd have to swing trade it. I think you can't really day trade it just because of the spreads and that it's an exotic pair. So, but I mean, I used to trade it back in the day when I first started trading, and I remember it was sitting at like 13-1. Now it's sitting at 16.60. So it makes a lot of sense. What he's seeing here. We have been pulling back. However, the dollar's been pretty weak in the last, since like the start of April, start of the year even. So it's an interesting one. That's interesting that he bought it also at the lows because we have been moving down this whole year as well. Like we've gone from, if you look at the chart as well, Hunter, we've gone from 19.9 down to 16. So we've actually strengthened by 16% this year so far.
Yeah, compared to the US. Now I wonder if that's just because the US is doing all these crazy things, or is it anything going on with?
I would say it's more got to do with America. South Africa's our government's actually been putting a few things in place. It's been better than it has before, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Interesting,
So
man.
you're
That's
trading
that's gonna be the I think the last time I randomly take a trade just
a
based off
trade
of
because someone's taken one. Yeah.
I have never, I mean, maybe not the last time, but that's man, my ego's hit. Oh,
Oh, dude, it can be quite tough. That's for sure. I mean, especially when you don't know the contract sizing, you don't know how the thing moves, what hours it trades as well. That's tough.
yeah.
What
That's a
what I
shame.
mean, you can also trade like cattle, right? Cattle as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Livestock, yeah.
Livestock, yeah.
LE. Interesting. Interesting going up pretty good. And it's odd for us to think like nobody really trades food.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
which was
I've never heard of a trader trading food
but this
personally.
was the original things people traded because traders were originally farmers.
Sure. Made sense because they know what they know the pricing themselves, right?
Yeah, and they were hedging against, if there's storms or and then the I don't know if people watching this kind of know how trading began. Originally, it was a way for farmers to hedge their crops. Um, you know,
Oh, for
uh,
what their crop prices would get. That's
yeah.
just
So if there was a really bad season, they wouldn't go bankrupt, basically, to put it simply, right?
sure because that would be hedged in the trade, basically.
Yeah. So they would short their own
Market.
crop, basically,
Yeah.
right? And then from there, the geniuses that traders are like, I can arbitrage this and just
Yeah.
go and look at the weather, right? And people would look at the weather and be like, okay, this is going to be a really cold season, so most likely, a lot of chickens are going to die. Corn's not going to grow super well, right? So they'd short it, and then
Sure.
they would take advantage of that, and you'd see these bigger swings in the markets that weren't just farmers trading.
Sure. That's so interesting. I mean, geez, I mean, he's trading wheat. I've personally never taken a trade on wheat. You probably
Yeah,
also haven't until today, right?
that will be my last wheat trade, and I am now shocked and stunned by that because that was a kind of a live stream challenge account, and
Sure.
now I fucked it. That's all right.
But you're still up on it.
We're still we're
See,
still up like 30-40%, something like that. But
yeah, I mean, that's obviously still fantastic, right? If you can do that, that's great. I
yeah,
Yeah, in terms of the rand, I mean, I found a lot of traders in South Africa actually trade like those exotic pairs and stuff like that. They find it moves, more volatile. So that's the reason why they like to trade it. What I found.
they're really I have a trader friend, Tyler G, right? He's on
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
on
of
X
course.
there.
Yeah, he was on the pod. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And he likes to trade Ethereum. And I'm like, why trade Ethereum? So everyone's got kind of their thing, right? And he says
Yeah,
it's because not many people trade Ethereum, and that means that things flow really well in a swing trade, right? There's
sure.
less chaos, there's less manipulation. He's looking for just those clean trends, right? So if we look at ETH USD, right, we can maybe see that, okay, this looks like, it's got just this crazy clean trend, right? Crazy clean. Obviously, you're looking at the monthly here, but you
Yep.
can see. I don't know if it's super easy to see now, but it doesn't look like there's any crazy chop. Whereas if you look at something like the Nasdaq, a lot of people are getting, beaten side by side here, trading the Nasdaq for the past three
Sure.
months, right?
Yeah, it was being super choppy. Sure.
See if we can get some questions.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm looking at even like Nvidia and some of these stocks are just trading in a massive range. They haven't really been breaking out to one side. Even like Nvidia
Yeah.
has been trading quite stagnantly. I mean, look at that chart in the last day on Nvidia as well. It's been super, super stagnant.
Yeah, that's because Nvidia really, really moves the market so much with the Nasdaq.
Sure.
Uh, Bitcoin, however, has been pumping up. Now, I am going to be a bear on Bitcoin at this point. Actually, I do want to just remind myself to be in a short here. I should be in a short.
What on BTC?
Yeah, BTC. I should be shorting this.
Look at BTC.
Um,
BTC is back above 74K. Interesting level here. It's gotten above some levels on the daily time frame.
Yeah, so with Bitcoin, a lot of people are saying, hey, it's pumping up now. Is the bull market back? Well, ultimately, what you want to be looking at is for something like Bitcoin, especially when we're in a bear market, you want to be looking at these like major candles, and things are dumping really hard. So a good, healthy pullback is going to allow people to short again. They're going to take their profits on their short.
Yeah.
These are people buying the dip for longer periods of time. So when you're thinking about, the market overall, you have so many different participants, right? So you have guys that say, hey, maybe you have guys that bought way back here at 30K, right? And then they sold for profit at 100K for like a 3x,
Yeah.
right? So now they want to add back in, right? So you have those guys, they're adding back in that just want to, do another 3x and sell at 150K, which, partly that's partly what I'm doing right now too. And then you have the day traders that are just scalping it back up. You have the guys who are swing trading that are selling it down, right?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be super interesting as well. We got FOMC tomorrow, so that should definitely shake things up. I would assume.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Bitcoin is affected by the FOMC, but ultimately it's getting more and more affected as things develop.
Agreed. Nasdaq, and that looks actually right now like it wants to come down off these highs. Hunter, what are your thoughts?
Let's look at the Nasdaq. You're talking about day trading?
Yeah, day trading. Yeah, not swing. Yeah, not swing trading. Day trading off these highs. Yeah.
Ultimately, with the Nasdaq right now, if we are looking at a little bit higher time frame, right? It does look like we've been coming down, right? We've got some decent closes, on the downside. So any pump is a reason to sell in my mind. If you're just talking about kind of this midterm sort of thing. Now, mind you, we are ranging, so it's near difficult to tell. Now again, midterms, you've got these solid green candles. So I wouldn't be too confident looking for sells here myself. Just because,
there's choppy.
It's super choppy. We might just be coming back up to the top of that range again. I really like looking at these. If I'm day trading, the multi hours and the hourly are my go-to on knowing what direction it's going, right?
Why for your Bitcoin short right now? Why are you short Bitcoin? You mainly just buy Bitcoin long term and hold, yeah?
Yeah, so I do have some Bitcoin, not too much right now, but I'm just doing minor shorts at this point.
On that specific challenge account.
Yeah, I mean, this is just my kind of personal swing trading account. It's not very big, few grand sort of thing. Like I don't hold much cash myself. And then we have, there's long-term holdings of Bitcoin somewhere, right? Where obviously, like, this is more for demonstration purposes, and then most of the trading is more positional based trading. And I think that's how you make like the big bucks is you just ride major trends, right?
I agree. Like Trader Nick, yeah.
Sort of, yeah. And then from there, you can practice and play around, and you can demonstrate on live streams with smaller amounts of money. But like buying and holding gold, fantastic, right? There's not much reason to be scalping this, right? When things are just going up, and hopefully a similar sort of thing with oil here too. Just hold oil for a long period of time. Hopefully we'll see. It's just kind of the start of the move. Well, whereas we're just day trading this right now. But with Bitcoin, we're holding a lot of Bitcoin, but it's nice if we are day trading this, or swing trading this. We have these monthly candles that just failed. We lost this level here. We haven't even retested the 82 level yet. So I'd be perfectly fine in holding this back up to 82, right? Maybe even, moving that stop a bit higher, and then letting this go higher and adding to the short in that range.
Sure.
Because ultimately, unless I see price close on the weekly level back above 80, then I think this is for sure coming down for a new low below 60. It's just dumping really hard. So this is most likely just profit taking and whatnot at this point.
So Hunter, I actually just took a little bit of a short position on the Nasdaq. I'm in at 040. So let me I can actually share my screen. Yeah.
Yeah. You put your screen on.
There you go. So
trying
these shorts. Yeah, trying these shorts. Just for any questions, let's see what questions are. What do you see, by the way, in terms of the Maven data? What's the most traded asset? I would assume
it's
gold.
Yeah, it's gold.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Makes sense.
Gold is
a lot of South African traders trade gold, bro. Yeah. A lot.
Well, the great thing about gold is it runs 24/7, basically. You know, if you're anywhere in the world, you could be a gold trader, right?
Yeah.
I can trade gold through Asia.
London session, you can trade it kind of whenever, Whereas like the indexes, you kind of have to kind of trade during the session open, essentially.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I got my screen up. You can show it there to the guys, I think.
Oh yeah, here I can add you.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. So I'm trying these shorts here, Hunter. Just we didn't take a new high here. So I do like how we pop and then we don't take a new high. So just trying to play it back down to the downside. Nothing too big, but we'll see what happens. We've got a couple of Mag 7 stocks that are red, so that's my position right now. But
nice.
Yeah, let's see what questions in the chat here while we just check this out. What the fastest way beginners fail prop firm challenges even when they have a decent strategy? Well, I'd probably say oversizing or over trading. That's probably got to be the go-to one. That's you have a good strategy, you take 1 or 2 losses, and then you get a bit flustered, right?
Yeah, say the question again.
What's the fastest way beginners fail prop firm challenges even when they have a decent strategy?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because people think failing prop firm challenges is like, it means you messed up. Really, it's just part of the game with prop firm.
I mean, I agree.
You don't have like the thing I just did on wheat, for example, that would have blown every prop.
Blown a prop firm account.
Right?
Agreed.
Just lost 10% on the account, right?
Yep.
In a single trade, So we take these risks, and there's little things that skip your mind. And even I've been doing this for 14 years, and I didn't really think about it. I was like, I'll just enter one contract, see how it moves, so I can play around with it. Didn't do any of the math, and didn't realize that one contract of wheat is going to overnight cost $1,000, right?
Oh,
so these little things, like newer traders are going to be doing a lot more of that stuff without realizing, and every time you do something like that, you learn, right?
Yeah, I mean so you were trading it as a futures contract then? Yeah,
it was a futures contract, ZW. I think there might be a micro futures contract for that,
sure,
but I didn't even bother looking, right? And that's the unfortunate thing about trading in the evening, I suppose.
Let's see what other questions in the chat while we wait.
How do you balance fundamentals and technical analysis in pair trading?
I would say fundamentals is more for like if you swing trading personally. Like day trading, you probably just want to avoid the heavy news events. I don't think fundamentals matter from like a 1 minute time frame or 5 minute time frame, but from like if you're day trading on a daily time frame, of course, they will.
That's an interesting point. Is fundamentals only really matter on the larger scale,
on the larger time frames. Like if you've got a macro bias that stock should move higher and you're holding Nvidia for some reason, that's your fundamental. You're basically trading that based on fundamentals. Maybe you're adding some technicals in. I do look at fundamentals and see what the market kind of wants to do, but I would say from a day trading perspective, when I'm day trading, my swing trading accounts will be different, obviously. But when you're day trading, I don't think those matter too much personally.
Now, a lot of traders, that I've seen in an interview, they will look at the fundamentals. They'll figure out a fundamental bias, and then they'll only day trade with that bias.
Oh, in that direction, sure.
Yeah. Which is super interesting way to know the overall direction without looking at like any bias, right? A lot of people look at the high time frames for bias, right? But this is essentially the same sort of thing, right? Is, hey, I know, for example, gold right now is, it should be relatively safe fundamentally, right?
Sure.
What I'm looking at right now is, gold being a bit weak now, and potentially shaky coming back for a pullback here, but still fundamentally it's decent, right? So you could be taking longs on that right now, and I'm sure you'll do better.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just having a look at gold. Gold's melting right now, bro. Wow.
Yeah, we had a weekly close that was pretty bearish, so I got out of
wow, we actually are selling off pretty hard.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at gold right now, shoot, I'm even looking, everything seems to be pretty, I think we're definitely going below 5K because we're at 5K right now.
Sure. Yeah, we're literally sitting at 5K at the moment. I would at least think we pull back on gold to back to kind of like the support 4,800.
Yeah, 48. I was saying 48 as well. 48 to 48.5.
Yeah.
For a new swing low there.
Correct.
And just see the reaction off that level. Hopefully we can support that, and then we can take some more longs.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that gold run was pretty crazy, though. It just literally every single day you just open your charts and buy. I mean, from literally back in August of last year, we're up 50%.
Yeah. Now, are you noticing, you do live streams as well, are you noticing traders complaining that markets are difficult now?
Tougher market conditions, 100%, Hunter. Yeah. It hasn't been the easiest for the guys in my live streams. I would say the biggest thing that the guys are struggling with is over trading, bro. Like getting in a trade, getting out of taking a loss and flipping bias, and then trying to catch the opposite direction only for it to come back down. Because like even if you look at like NQ, right? Like look this is NQ since that dump off in Feb. We've literally been trading in this 1,000-point range. Like we haven't really done much. And it's like one day up, one day down, 2 days up, 2 days down. It hasn't really there's no extension. So even like my trades, Hunter, I haven't really been getting any runners on my trades. I'll take off like 75% at like 1 hour, and then I'll end up getting like stopped on the rest because it comes back down to my entry,
Yeah. What are you thinking is going to happen? Do you think it'll just keep ranging like this? Do we think we're going to see a pop off or, a big explosion coming out?
Yeah, I mean, I like where we're sitting at right now from a long-term investment point of view, where we're sitting at now on that daily 200 EMA. Historically, this daily 200 EMA, let's go to ES. That's what kind of the traders use as a benchmark against the stock market, right? So let's go to this. We can actually see historically, this has been a great buying area, the 200 EMA. Yes, in April tariffs, we dipped below that, but historically that 200 EMA, which is this white EMA coming across my screen, has historically been a great area to be looking for longs, like back in 24. And then again, obviously the bear market again here 2023, but that bear market in 2022 did stay below that 200 EMA for quite some time, obviously before getting above it and then starting to rise.
Yeah.
But it is typically historically a great area to be looking for longs in terms of like, if you dollar cost averaging into an ETF or so like that, personally. But I just don't know right now. It doesn't look particularly bullish at the moment. Like we're not taking out new highs, right? That's kind of what you would want, something like this, where you get above a level and then, pull back into it and a move higher. We have, as I said, we've just been struggling to get those longs in continuation. Like even look today, we have a strong close into the open coming from pre-market, and now we're just coming lower. ES and NQ coming lower right now. So
yeah, sure. Yeah. Now I want to I'm gonna maybe show my chart in a second here.
Yeah.
Let me show my stage here. Movers. I want to show you maybe a similar sort of point of view on the ES that I have is, we have this,
Sure.
you like drawing, you got the moving average or something lining up like right here. Now, the way that I'm looking at it is, hey, we've got this pivot low here, and that's what brought us to that high, right? This is the all-time high, right? So in order for them to continue, they need to support this level, right? And it's a
Yep.
similar sort of thing if I look at the NASDAQ as well. I'm going to put it on the weekly, though, because it's a little bit cleaner here, is you've got, this candle right here is the one that brought you to the high. So what they need to do is they need to hold this range, right, in order to continue making new highs. Because right now, all of this is just chop, and it's a little bit easier to see on the NASDAQ.
Sure.
All of this is just sideways moves, right? And they need to ensure that, this area that brought us, like, and it doesn't need to be super accurate, but this is the level that we need to hold, right? And if you look on the ES, it's actually pretty bearish compared to the NASDAQ, right? Is if you're looking at, say, hey, we actually lost that move way back because this is our high, right? This is our all-time high, and we lost that move way back on the ES, and then it just nosedived, right? So
Yep.
now, I'm not so certain this is going to hold very well because we've already lost that level on the ES long ago.
Yeah,
But
just to butt in there, Hunter. I just closed that NASDAQ short for 40 points. I'll take that on.
yeah, did the
Chop the
NASDAQ
other day.
dump off? Let's see here.
Yeah. Yeah. Not really, but it's coming. It's coming. I had a nice entry on it back at 040, and we're trading at 25K right now. So I'll
Yeah.
take that little one. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just doing little scalps then, hey?
Yeah, a little scalp on it. To down. I don't really like the shorts, because of the pre-market highs, but it is coming lower. So I'll just take that quick little win. And then that's something also that traders, they want every single trade to be a home run.
Yeah.
It's not what I do well, personally.
One of my favorite traders, I mention him a lot, Trader Sumo. When he trades, I've seen him trade a couple times. He just does these little, like, the little moves. He literally only looks for exactly what you just kind of did, where, if you got in here, he's literally just looking for that low, right? And he'll do things like this, where it's 1R, right? A lot of traders like to trade 3R, 2R, whatever. And he'll just literally next move down. That's it, right? And then
just take the base hits. Kind of.
Yeah, base hits work well. Now, this looks to me, after we lost this level, looks to me like we're going to be coming back down to these London open area. But potentially, I haven't really looked.
Yeah, Nvidia was rolling. Also, one of the reasons I did like the little bit of a scalp short was Nvidia was rolling over a little bit as well, Hunter. I do use the stocks to kind of gauge what the indexes are feeling like.
Yeah. Cool. Let's look here. Based on gold price crash after 1980, I want to see this. See this here.
Yeah, there you go.
After 1980, Iran war began. I guess a different Iraq-Iran war than the recent one. Is the current March 2026 pricing gold drop a sign of long-term bear market or temporary correction? So this is an interesting question. I just seen it because he's referencing something from long ago, and I want to see. Let's look at just gold, right? And let's look back at will this even let us look back that far? We'll see. 19. Now the thing is, he's saying 1980. Which I got to go on the monthly in order to even see.
1980, dude. That's like 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to reference anything from the 1980s because we're only going to be able to look at, the monthly candles.
What does the chart go back to? Does it even go back that far?
Yeah. So he's referencing this massive bear market here, right? And what's interesting is, James, this is the exact same sort of pattern that you just shorted on the NASDAQ, right?
Sure.
This swing up, and then we didn't make the new high, so we're probably going to be coming back down, right? It's kind of what the NASDAQ's printing right now in the low time frames. Now, I'm not going to zoom in and look on the weekly candles, but what you'd need to look for is exactly that is attempts to make new highs and then price not being able to hold it, right? So it doesn't have to look exactly like this, but the whole concept is if you can't go higher, I guess that's a terrible arrow. There you go. Then you must go lower, right?
Yeah, that's actually does look pretty similar to what I just shorted on the Nasdaq. You're right.
Right. So let's look
just
at
on a smaller time frame, right?
Let's look at gold right now. So here's the issue: is there's no way for us to know, right? Nothing's been printed yet, right? If we look at the weekly as well, like, well, it doesn't look that bad yet, right? We've just lost this level. This is nothing even remotely similar because it's still on the monthly candles, it's still making new highs, right? So, it could very easily just quickly dump off to this, there's a 48 level here, on the open of that month. Maybe we'll come back down there. Oh, but
I've got a question. This is not from the chat, but I've got a question.
Yeah.
What would you say in your 14 years, Hunter? What would you say is one or two things that have helped you become a better trader, but not specifically trading wise? I'm not talking psychology. I'm just talking like trading wise in terms of like helping you become a more consistent trader. Or
yeah. I think this is it's kind of a common question, but you've kind of spun it into a way that has nothing to do with trading, really.
Yeah, I'm not talking trading wise, because that's always the cliche stuff. Respect your losses, don't overtrade. Yeah. We understand that.
Yeah. I think two things that come to my mind, right? The one is doing things that are like sort of meditative practices, right? Whether it's walking, like you can have active meditation,
sure,
or actual meditation or journaling, reading, anything that like slows you down so that you can be more comfortable sitting still, because that's ultimately what trading is, right? Like last night or whatever it was yesterday, we tried doing some day trading on stream, and like I had to sit there for like 15 minutes for a candle to print, right? And things take a long time to print out if you're just sitting there watching the paint dry, right? So you have to be comfortable watching that paint dry and being cool with it, right? And then the other thing is having other means to money, right, than just trading, right? Because like I just lost $1,000, right? From
you feel crap,
a silly mistake, and I'll be honest with you, I've already forgotten about it. Like I honestly don't care anymore. The only thing that bothers me about that is like now I have to go on stream and like tell people that like, like the actual money, like the thing that bothers me the most is that now my percentage isn't as good, right? But the money doesn't matter at all, right?
Sure.
So when I go and brag on social media, I'm not going to look quite as cool, right? So maybe there's a telltale sign in that in itself is like, okay, now we need to practice not being cool, I guess, right? So that we can get over that sort of hurdle next, right? Rather than the money hurdle, right?
Sure. No, that's actually a pretty decent one. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how much their life outside of their training affects their actual results. You know, if you are chaotic outside of your training, like you're all over the place, you don't arrive on time, you don't do what you say you'll do, it's pretty tough to actually then do that on the charts. It's like how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So if you come into the charts, or even like, even streams, and you come unprofessional in terms of like your trading, you can have fun and joke around, but still be serious when the time's to execute,
Now I just want to interject here for the giveaways here today. My screenshot thing is broken right now. I had a power outage last night, so I can't pick winners and then send them to Discord, so I'm going to need you to do that for today, for the questions. So we're gonna get a couple.
Do I have to screenshot the user?
Yeah, just screenshot the question there and then send them to the Discord or to me. And then we'll pick some winners. Let's do a couple more questions and let's pick a couple winners. We're gonna pick
how many accounts we're giving away, Hunter?
We're gonna do one for When Crypto, and we're gonna do one for
sick.
Maven. So maybe let's pick somebody who has a good crypto question, and then one person that has a good
okay. So let's get the questions in the chat there, guys.
Do a couple questions.
By the way, gold did sell off pretty hard there. It dropped from 5K down to 49.80.
Yeah, totally. This would be a decent day to be day trading if things are flying.
Gold, yeah, agreed.
Yesterday was flat, right?
Yeah, it didn't really do much. It literally just up and down.
Yeah, and then Bitcoin coming down a bit here. Yeah, FOMC will be interesting tomorrow. Let's look just to bring up the Fed watch. I'm going to pull it on my other screen here. Fed watch, we got the FOMC coming, right? We've got a 99% chance of
rate cut.
Is this a rate cut or is this the same? Where do we see? Been doing this for so long, I always get confused. The current is, yeah. So no, 99% chance for nothing to happen, right?
Sure.
So if you're trying to figure out what to do on FOMC tomorrow, well, most likely nothing's going to happen. So maybe this is already like, usually when there's FOMC, markets are kind of flat, but I think people have realized that, hey,
I agree,
nothing's going to happen, so let's just trade as normal, right?
Yeah.
People are kind of waiting. Here you go. What crypto trends should beginners watch closely this week?
Where is that? What crypto?
That's cat off there.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Crypto trends should we watch closely this week? Well, my opinion, I don't know. You don't really trade Bitcoin. You don't really trade much for crypto right now.
I don't trade much crypto right now, but I mean, you know, if there's for you guys that are the crypto, I would get into it 100%. You know, if it's available, you know, I can do it as like a side gig, like you and your wheat.
Yeah, that did not go well, man. I am not going to be. I am not going to be trading things that are that insane anymore. I don't think. I think that was a silly thing to do. Crypto trends. I don't know if I can think of any decent.
What do you watch? What do you like in terms of like you and your crypto trends? Do you, when you used to trade it and stuff like that, what did you actually watch?
Well, interesting enough here. Let's actually. CoinMarketCap was an interesting website that we used to go to all the time, and you can see as things are getting more and more popular, like Hype here. This is kind of a new one, right? So this is where I would find newish coins, right?
Sure.
And I used to watch this stuff all the time because I was a crypto bro, and I would look for gems, right? So now that actually this is a decent question now that we're getting into it. Now that we're kind of in this bear market, right? And I guess I think we're in the dead center of the bear market, honestly, actually. This is, if you don't think this is a bear market, you know, I don't know what to say. This is as bear market as it gets. We're down 50%. And I would memorize all of these all the time. And I know all of them pretty well right now, but like Canton is kind of new. Hype is kind of new, right? So I would go in here and I would look for things that I haven't seen before, right? So here we go, like Sky, right? And I would look for, you know, okay, Sky, let's see, okay, how long has it been around for? Okay, it's been around for about a year, right? And this is where I would look for gems. This is how I would find crypto gems, is things that haven't had that parabolic bull market yet, right? So this is awesome, right? Because it's only really been around since the top, right? It hasn't had an alt season yet, ever, right? So the reason why I do that is because when we have the alt season, it has no top to sell off at. So it has unlimited potential, right? So then from there, what I would do is I'd go to their website, right? And I'd say, hey, what is this? Right? I don't care if it already does something or not. I just want to know, are people going to get behind this? Right? So
Interesting. So, like, are people going to get behind that project,
Yeah,
essentially?
is it a cool idea? I don't care if it does anything yet, because the reality is no crypto really does anything. There's very few that do anything, right? Um, the
Fair.
upgrade of Maker protocol. Okay, cool. People know Maker, right? And I'd scan through this, and it looks like some sort of savings sort of thing. I don't know yet, but people like money, right? So this could potentially be a good project. So anything that allows you to make more money, usually people like to get behind. So maybe that's a good project. And then once I've decided that, hey, this is something that I think is going to do well in the next bull market, I'd start adding to it, and I would just hold it for the next 3 years, right? Until the next bull market starts, and I see some crazy moves like this on Bitcoin. I'll watch that rip, and then, Sky, USDT, you can tell that, hey, this is not at a bull market yet, right? This only just began, right? So this is actually maybe a decent project, and then I would just buy it and hold, right? So that's how I find crypto trends. That's a good question.
Not leverage products. You just buying the actual physical coin.
Yeah, I would never leverage trade.
Yeah, you're not leveraging it with a stop loss and take profit. You're buying like $1,000 worth of the coin, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And I did really well on RSR back in the day. This was one of my best pulls doing exactly that, because this is essentially what you get with crypto is, I was able to get in before this even hit Binance, because I got in on like some swap stuff. So I got in really, really low, and then you sell off after that bull market. And then ultimately, this is what every crypto coin does, right? They just go to zero. So you just wait for the first pump. And this is why I'm saying I wait for something that's not had a pump yet, because look at the second bull market, didn't really do anything, right? And then there's going to be another one that's going to do even less, right? And that's kind of how they go. This project's probably never going to do anything unless they actually make a product that works, right? Which is unlikely at this point.
Yep. No, our crypto is like you have to be in the dark, like you have to be in the trenches, bro.
Yeah, you have to be early, that's for sure. Right? Maybe that's a good question. Maybe give cats off for the when crypto.
Yeah, no, I took a screenshot of that. Yep. Okay, so let's get a stock market question or a currency question for the CFDs for those accounts. One crypto, we got the crypto one. Let's get another one now. But yeah, guys, we do this every Tuesday, right, Hunter? You know, we've been doing it for quite some time, but I always appreciate being on with you guys.
We started this as a Spaces on X. I don't know if you remember that. That was like
I did used to listen to it, actually. Yep.
Yeah. Early days, way back, man. Before cameras even existed, and we had to go on. I've seen a question about the Strait of Hormuz there. I'm not sure if you want to read that one or.
Look, I must be honest with you. I don't like reading the news, bro.
Yeah.
It's sometimes all negative. I like to keep positive things in my life, you know.
Yeah. Interesting. Sometimes you can take advantage of that. I was able to capitalize.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Have you bought any oil or anything like that since
I'm up $200 on the smallest amount of oil ever.
Okay.
Right. We got into oil the week before the Strait got shut down. So
wow. Okay. That will help.
Yeah, we need to do this 5 more times, and then I can cover that wheat position.
Sure.
4 more times.
How's that exit, by the way, on NQ, bro? Right back off those lows.
Did it rip up? Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I like taking small bites like that. And then with prop firms like Maven, it makes it count. If you got a 100K account and you're risking 1%, you could have made like, $500 on that little scalp like that,
Yeah. I noticed the best traders that trade on Maven are the ones that do kind of these base hits, right?
Base hit
traders are always the best traders, rather than the guys that are just trying to win everything in one go
and have home run trades, like trying to go for 5-to-1 risk reward ratio on every trade.
Yeah, that wheat trader, as much as I love to see it, ultimately he waited a long time for a move that might have not played out.
Sure.
Right. So the odds of that, it's really awesome to see.
Of course.
But you don't want to be that guy, because you're waiting months just for a 50%, in theory, a 50% chance that it goes up, right?
Sure.
I assume he knew what he was doing, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see how. Let's see. We need one more question, yeah, guys. One more question.
Here's a decent one here. I'm not sure if you can see this one. It's relatively new here. Cheryl Global.
Yeah,
if somebody has your exact strategy with perfect discipline, what's a realistic way they could still fail?
That's a good question. I'd like to bring up a picture, but just give me a second to find it. I'd actually like to bring up this picture. This is again from the. Just give me a second there, Hunter. Before I get it up,
I'll throw it on.
Let's go like this. Let's go like that.
Yeah, we don't want to show your desktop.
Okay. Yeah.
Could be anything on there.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a good question, because this is from Tom Dante. Remember about slashing the 3 other tires? Same guy, Hunter. Same guy. He says, if the edge was fully in the strategy, everyone learning it would be banking. That is never the case. The edge isn't you as a trader. It always has been, and it always will be. So you can have the exact, like Hunter does his course, the DMC, for free, right? You can, I'm on stream right now. I can tell you exactly how I trade. And I do every single day, but it comes down to the trader itself, right? For example, after you take the space hit, I'm probably going to be done for the day because I made $2,000 on that trade. Okay. So I'll be done for the day. Whereas maybe another trader will look to find another trade and end up giving back profits or oversizing on the next one and tilting. So it always comes down to the trader, right? You can actually, there's no holy grail trading system. It always comes down to, it comes down to the trader itself. So it's a good question. And I think also like experience helps. This is my 9th year trading. I've made all the mistakes that you can think of. I'll share all the wins and losses. Last year, this time, I had my first child and I blew a bunch of accounts. And probably where I was then is not the same trader I am now, right? I've had to learn from different life experiences as well. So it comes down to the trader. That's my interpretation of that.
Yeah, awesome answer. I say similar sort of things too, is like on stream and whatnot, like nobody's strategy will ever work for you. You have to adapt it to your own understanding,
to how you want to trade. Yeah.
The guy who taught me, it took me first of all, it took me a year to even understand what the hell he was saying. And then after that, it still didn't really work for me. Right. Sure. So I tried a bunch of things and then I changed it. So it's still the same thing. You're still doing the same thing, but your understanding of that thing is different. It's, it's kind of like if I tried to explain to you how I see colors, right? You're never going to understand it until you actually start seeing the same colors that I'm seeing, or seeing your version of the same colors. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if that's a good metaphor, but you have to create your own interpretation from the same sort of concepts, right?
You have to make it make sense for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, good question there, bro. Okay, let's wrap it up there. Those 2 questions. So Cat Soft, you're gonna get the When Crypto account. And Cheryl Global, you're gonna get the Maven account. So you can open up tickets with those with those firms, and we'll give you an account. Okay. Thanks guys for watching. Anything else, James?
All good, bro. I appreciate you always being on here with you. We'll see you guys next week, Tuesday, same time.
Ciao. Thanks, guys. Wait, I need to exit this way. Boom. There we go.